why did you want to get involved with the AAF?
I didn't know I did anyway. I had heard about the league and didn't think, the risk profile of a startup football league isn't something I would consider normally, or I didn't. And so I didn't participate when they were out in the world looking for partners. And, after week one, football looked really good. The ratings were good. My kids were interested. I actually watched, didn't know I wanted to, and enjoyed it.
How old are your kids?
17 and 15, the boys.
Okay.
And, fantasy football's a thing that's pretty important in their lives.
Right.
And matter of fact, they make fun of me sometimes on the hockey team, like you couldn't buy a football team, so
wow. No, so to buy a league, kids.
Yeah,
watch how Dad rolls, okay?
Yeah, I showed them, and so anyway, I was at a breakfast on Wednesday morning with one of my partners. I'm involved in a business called Top Golf, and he said you should call.
I've heard of that.
It's a good one.
Big fan.
So you should call Charlie Ebersol because he knows the way I like to do things is if there's a little less risk and a good opportunity at the same time, which is hard to find. And they had put up good ratings. The football looked good, and they were in a position where instead of having to continue to raise money, they could have used the stability that I was able to provide them. And so within 24 hours, we had a deal done where, I took control of the league in the sense of, I'll put up the money and I get to make the decisions and make sure that this thing is done, continue to build on what they've done, and then hopefully they went really fast, right? So now we got to go make sure we put the foundation around everything they've done.
So let me take this one step at a time here, Tom. AAF comes on the air on CBS weekend after the Super Bowl. You're just sitting there watching it with your two kids, or you flip up on it or whatever. Sitting there right there. You had no idea you were going to commit $250 million to that league 2 weeks later at all.
None. Wednesday morning at breakfast after the first game was the first time I even heard anything about it, and by Thursday afternoon,
you were committed?
Done.
Have you ever
smart.
done? Hold on a second. Have you ever done a business deal like that in your entire life?
No. What I did was I put up some money that weekend, but I wouldn't let them use my name.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure that if I decided against it after I spent the next 4 days on the phone with different people, and it kept getting better. I got better and better reviews as opposed to normally it gets worse, right? When everybody tells you the best stuff. And so I started to feel better and better. I went to the game in San Antonio, and I wanted to see the ratings. So once I put my name on this, we're going to make this work, right? This is what I'm committed to doing. So I had a period of time. So it sounds crazy to do 24 hours, but I actually had 5 days.
Sure.
So that's way better.
Understood.
Yeah. And 2 weeks of ratings, right? So now I saw that people kept watching.
Right.
And they didn't just get lucky.
So what is your vision for this then, Tom?
I think the plan is just to be a development league. The whole story of giving people a chance, I'm not sure if you graduated from college and became a sports broadcaster, you could accomplish the same success again. I'm sure I couldn't do what I did if I lived my life over a lot of times. And so the idea of creating something or being part of something where people get a chance, and whether it's coaches, players, refs, or maybe innovate technology, broadcasters, I think that's compelling. It's interesting. And so if we can just be a developmental league that serves the NFL, I think that's interesting, and I think it's compelling, and so that's what I like about it.
Well, it is definitely. I talked this. We had Charlie in studio last Friday, where I love listening in on the replay conversation. I can't wait till somebody actually goes for it on 4th and 12 to try and get the football
it hadn't
back.
happened yet.
Instead, I like that idea instead of an onside kick. I like seeing a bunch of guys who I've seen before. There's some name recognition,
right,
as well. I do like all. I love the coaches. Spurrier, obviously, and all that. It is a lot of fun. Can you make money on this though? You think?
Look, it's not. Yes, you can be successful here. It's not the NFL. It's not going to be that type success.
Right.
But if you think about it as developmental or minor leagues, it'll be the best of that genre for sure. So, because it's football, and the NFL does such a good job that they create that halo and that opportunity. So, yeah, I don't think this isn't going to be that difficult to get it to a point. It'll be a lot of hard work, so I don't want to minimize what everybody's doing. But the risk reward of this investment is not that scary now that people are watching and people like it.
Did they need your money? I mean, the conversation is you are a savior, Tom.
Yeah, I think Charlie had many people he was talking to, and he's pretty resourceful. He got this far. I think he would have been fine. It would have just been a lot more difficult to continue down that path versus it's over now. Like, we don't have to talk about the money anymore. We just have to talk about continuing to build the league and grow it. And so, what's nice is all his energy has turned towards what's important, right? Put on really good football games and give people an opportunity to make it in the NFL. And so that was, I think, why they did it with me, because obviously giving up control was something that I had to have and he had to give. And so he had choices, but maybe this was a better one.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.